I want to go ahead and welcome everyone to our We the People, by the People, for all the people 3 o'clock Zoom meeting. Our group is a grassroots, family-driven, family-run advocacy effort. Our mission with this group is to unite families in every county of Florida so that they share their stories and experiences, forging connections with legislators, decision makers, and the public. Through these authentic relationships, we seek to drive systematic improvements and champion dignity, integration, and support for all people with developmental disabilities. We do have a lot of friends who aren't able to come on every Friday at 3 o'clock. So we do record these meetings and we post it on our YouTube channel. If you haven't been with us before, oh my goodness, we are so glad you're here. I want to go ahead and toss it over to Nicole. We're going to do a couple announcements. Then I'm going to walk you through our newly designed website and go through that. And our special guests will be on the call ready to go in about 15 minutes. So, Nicole, here you go.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Happy Friday, TGIF. So one of the first announcements is, of course, our collaborative effort for trying to get at least one disability-focused voice at every county delegation meeting this year. If you weren't aware, the delegation meetings have already begun in Florida. So we've had, I want to say, maybe 5 already. Someone correct me if I'm not mistaken there, but what we're trying to do is to get a voice of ours at every delegation meeting, having someone doing public comment to raise awareness and advocate for our issues. We have joined and partnered with organizations like Florida Voices for Health, the ARC of Florida Developmental Disability Council, the Autism Society of Florida, and many others to try to share this information across the state. I'll share in the chat our flyer. So if you haven't seen this yet, there is a short survey to register, at least for us, to let us know that you're going to be there, that you're going to speak. So that way we can populate our little map that we've been sharing on social media, but also just for that informational purpose. But for specifically to register for public comment, you need to make sure that you are speaking to whoever is in charge of that for your specific county. And for that information, Stephanie's going to go over that with you on our website here in a minute. We also wanted to announce real quick that DD Day has been announced and locked for the next legislative session. That date is going to be the 13th of February, 2026. So we'll put together maybe like a flyer or something. Stephanie maybe put that in the Facebook group. So that also leads me naturally to the next small announcement. If you're not already a member of our Facebook group, and I'm going to put that link for it in the chat, we would encourage you to come log on and join. I'm going to put that one here, but I also want to let people know that if you invite anyone to come, just remind them gently to fill out the survey questions when they try to get access to the group. We've had a lot of, I want to say, spam bots trying to join, and so if they don't answer the questions, they won't get admitted. So just make sure that if you tell your friends or family members, just please answer the questions. And then I'm also going to put a link for our website in the chat as well. So a lot of this information is also shared there. So you can have that for your records. And with that, I'm going to let Stephanie go ahead and talk about our ever-evolving website, the amazing website. Go ahead.
Like I said, we are family driven and family led, and our website is definitely that as well. So, welcome to flddadvocacy.org. We haven't really gone through this, but on our homepage here, we talk about who we are, share a couple of our stories. We have our mission, and then we have links we're going to go here first. Share your story. Oh, wait. Share your story. So, one of the most effective ways to reach your legislators is to connect personally with them. Last month, we talked about the importance of meeting with your representatives, having that appointment, and it always helps them. It helps you to have your personalized one pager on that. So, up at the top of this link is examples of stories that have been shared. And then video stories are highly effective. We live in the video world. So I have on here a tutorial where you can create your own video story, some samples of video stories that have been sent in by our families. And then right down here, there's a big ready to share. You can actually input your information right directly into the form. And then what happens is our team will turn it around and make it look pretty so that you will have confidence when you go to your appointments with your legislators or your delegation meetings. So today, this morning, actually, I had a new page created. So you pull over here, legislators and decision makers. And right now we have connect with your legislators. So if you don't know who your representative is, who your senator is, you can click on one of these links and it'll take you to fill in your address where your representative and senator will pop right up. And then also, this is the big one that took a bunch of time today. I'm excited about all the legislative delegation meetings scheduled that have been posted are now available on our website. So if you live in these counties, you can scroll down here, the dates in red, and then the information on those delegation meetings and you just keep on going as they announce other counties that are coming in. We will upload it on our website. It's not all 67 counties are on available yet. They haven't been set. So once they are, we'll pop them on our website. I want to go ahead because our special guest is here and open it up to Miss Jamie Merchant. Jamie, are you ready for us? She is. She says yes and let me unmute. Yes. Hi, Jamie.
Okay.
So good that you are here. Jamie is the senior legislative aide for Representative Benarott in District 81, and she has kindly come on board today to really give us a 101 on this very long phrase, legislative delegation meetings. So, Jamie, if you would like to say hello and just walk families through the process. What is a delegation meeting? What to expect? What's the good things to say? What's the not so great things to do with it?
Of course, yes. Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity. Representative Benaroche wishes she could be on. She's speaking at the Kaiser University graduation this evening, so she's preparing for that. So I'm going to focus on you all. In Stephanie's little flyer, she had a few points, so that's what I'll focus on because that's what I'm prepared for.
Thank you. Thank you.
What is a delegation meeting? So each county in Florida, there's 67 counties. They are made up of a handful of House representatives and maybe one or two senators. So Collier County specifically, our delegation is 3 House representatives and 1 senator, whereas Lee County has, oh my gosh, maybe 7 House representatives and 2 senators, maybe 3 if you include Senate President Al Bretton. So it just depends on the location. But this is a time that this delegation meeting is a time that you get face to face contact with those representatives and senators. They all sit up on a dais and you get the opportunity to come speak to them directly about your issue that you are advocating for that's important to you. Businesses or organizations, I'll say like FGCU or FSW, they come usually to ask for money because they need state funding to keep their doors open or assistance with special projects. So you'll hear things, people looking for what we call appropriations or budget requests. Let's scroll down. Why it matters, like I said, is because you get that one-on-one time. One-on-one, I guess. You get your 3 to 5 minutes, however the chair wishes to delegate the meeting, but you are speaking to them directly. They are focused only on you as the speaker for those 3 to 5 minutes. Why is it important? Because you get to speak on issues that are important to you, that matter to you. Some legislators use this opportunity to listen to the community and take ideas back if they do not have ideas for bills this year or enough ideas for bills, because in the House you can only file 7 because there's 120 House members. So we're limited to 7. Senators, there's 40 senators. They can file 100 bills if they want to. Not all 100 are going to go through, but they don't have as many restrictions, deadlines, or rules that we have over in the House. So if they are looking for an idea, because that's how you get a bill, is simply an idea. You help shape that idea for them, and they feel like they can help you with that and take it to House drafting or Senate drafting, the staff, and help your idea become a bill, which could potentially become a law. You start building the relationship with your lawmakers, which is super important. The engagement is also very important. And the best part about this opportunity is you don't need a lobbyist. I came from activism, so I don't need a lawyer to tell me anything. I know what is important to me and who are they. So you don't need that. This is something that's important to you, and you give your personal experiences. How to speak effectively is to know your goal, know your why. Usually you get 3 minutes is usually the, oh gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? It's it, usually 3 to 5, depending on how many people are speaking. I think this year for Collier, everyone's getting 3 minutes. So if you know ahead of time how much time you're getting, you can prepare your message and ensure that it's powerful. You first want to introduce yourself and who you are. Tell a brief, short story, and then connect that story to the issue that you're fighting for, and make a clear ask. My name's Jamie. I am fighting for parental rights. The school is not helping me with this situation with my son in class, and I need your help. I feel like I am not the only parent that is suffering with this issue, so I need help. And then, of course, always say thank you. What not to do.
Yeah, this one's fun.
I don't like being spoken at with this. You're not going to get received very well. You'll be heard, but your issue will be not necessarily ignored. But if that is the first impression that legislators or their staff have of you, it doesn't help to build that relationship. So, like I said, keep it real, keep it personal, always practice. There's been plenty of times where I have spoken at school board meetings in my previous life, because I can't do that anymore, where I assume that I'm getting 3 minutes to speak, and because 30 more people show up, it's down to 1. So that's not going to happen to call your delegation. You get 3 minutes regardless. But depending on where you're speaking or who you're speaking to, I suggest having a draft. This is my 3-minute draft. If I get 3 minutes, here's my 2-minute, here's my 1 minute. I don't think it's productive to have less than, it's probably not productive to have a minute, but less than a minute. I haven't seen anybody put that kind of restriction. Bring supporters. Have people that are dealing with the same issues or the same roadblocks, bring them with you to support you. And then always follow up. So after you're done speaking, whether it's to us or to a school board or in a one-on-one meeting in offices, always follow up via email or even a card in the mail that says, thank you so much for taking time to listen to us. We hope that we can get some more one-on-one time in the near, and we look forward to building that relationship with you. And again, thank them for listening. So let me see here. Was there anything else? That's all I had.
That's
You gave me
awesome.
so much more time than I thought I needed.
Well, that's all right, because if you're okay with it, we do. So this group are families all across the state of Florida, and
Okay.
many of our families on the call have never done a delegation meeting. Would you be open to some questions?
Sure, I'll answer the best of my ability. Don't ask me policy questions. I can't answer any of those.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to say on top of what Jamie said is these delegation meetings, a not to do is to show up to the delegation meeting expecting parking to be real easy and understanding government workarounds. Like it
Mhm.
takes some time to either practice run going to where your delegation meeting is, because I've gone where I live down in Jamie's district. It's pretty straightforward, but I went over to Miami for one of them.
Ooh.
And it was like I had to park across the street and walk downtown through a building. I got lost. And then, like she said, so many people hopped into the meeting. So my 3 minutes went to 1 minute. And one of the things that one of the moms that was at that delegation gave me a tip. She said, "Hey, if you've only got a minute, just get with their aide, figure out who their aide is, and hand over that information to them so that they can bring your contact information away for them and hand your information to their aides." Jamie is probably talked to many people on this call. She represents District 81, but has worked with a lot of our families and our legislative aides. They really, truly are the big brain behind it all. These are the folks that you want to make sure you get in contact with. The legislators, especially right now, it's go time for them. Once delegation's happening, bills are starting to be drafted, they've got ideas. So you really want to get with your legislative aides. But with that, let's do the hand raising game. What's her name? Amanda? Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, Amanda. Yeah, sorry. I have Amanda on the line. If you raise your hand like this, if you have your video, or if you want to raise your virtual hand. Oh, look, did I do that?
You
Yeah,
did.
that.
Oh, cool. So I gave you an example. That's what it looks like. Uh, does anybody have questions related to legislative delegations for Jamie? Dun, dun, dun. Oh, I see a hand. Anna. Thanks, Anna. Mm.
It's still muted.
There she
Did
is.
that work? Hi. So I don't have a question per se personally, but one that I think, and I don't think we've talked about it, when you are interested in speaking at your delegation, I think it's important to note how you get on the schedule, because oftentimes that can be a challenge in itself. I know in our county, if you're not quick, they'll fill it with organizations and there won't be space for families, and they do like to do that.
Yes, I'm unsure how other counties do it, and I'm honestly unsure if there's a rule or a precedent. I know that Lee and Collier handle their meetings very similar and they just get straight to it. But each delegation should have a website. So if you Google your county delegation, something should pop up because they do have to, it's a public meeting, they do have to notice it to the public. So I know that in Collier, the notice went out, I feel like forever
A while
ago.
ago,
Yes, with a deadline to speak or present of, I believe, August 25th. And then the speaker or presenter has until September 3rd, I believe, to give the documents to the legislative aide. In our case, it's Senator Pasadomo that chairs the delegation. So her office handles literally everything. I just get delivered a big binder that's about this big and I just show up. But yes, each county does have to notice, and it'll literally say, contact Jamie Merchant if you want to speak, bring these documents, send these documents. And that's how you do it. That's how you get on the schedule. And if
So what
it's
if
too late,
what if you
sometimes
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You're going to cover it. Go ahead.
yes. Fortunately for us, and again, I don't know how every delegation meeting does it, but Senator Pasadomo's office is extremely flexible. I know that there were a couple of organizations that missed the deadline, but because the agenda had not been finalized or publicized, her office was gracious enough to still provide them a spot. But even then, because of it being a public meeting, there's still public comment. So even if you do not get on the agenda, you can still fill out the document that you wish to speak, and you're still getting the same amount of time. At least that's how our delegation does it. Don't hold any of this to your county, but our delegation does provide at least 3 minutes, to my knowledge, this year is how we're still doing it, to speak to the delegation just as anybody else would. So
that's how it was when I spoke at my delegation meeting. I did not get onto the agenda prior to, so I filled out the public speaking form, and they put all of those at the end of the agenda. So you have to sit through the entire thing.
yes.
And so that can be a little nerve-wracking.
It is, but it's good. Like I know I've spent, and when I was working in advocacy, I went to both Lee and Collier delegation. So it was all day that I was sitting there, but I got to listen and understand what other people are fighting for also, because there may be somebody like Stephanie that speaks in advocacy for the autism community, and there may be somebody in the crowd who is a first time parent who is just hitting roadblock after roadblock with APD or Medicaid or anything, anything and everything. And all of a sudden they hear Stephanie, and it's, oh my gosh, suddenly they see a light at the end of the tunnel, and they can connect with Stephanie, and Stephanie can assist them with get in touch with this person or this person. And all of a sudden now this parent has an army behind them that they felt like they never had before.
Yeah. Amy Renda had her
My
hand.
screen before Amy.
Okay.
Can you see my screen? Everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I wanted to just talk about what Jamie was sharing about the appearance form. So all the delegations, and that's on our website here, if they have an appearance form, you can click that. I'm going to do it again. This is Escambia County, and this is what you would need to fill out. On the website, it tells you what the deadlines are. Most of the delegations have that. But they each have appearance forms that you can go on and you just fill it out. Who you are, if you have an organization. Melissa Mazeda had given a suggestion, like we're families, we're moms, dads, self-advocates, whatever. So you are for example, I'm a mom who has concerns regarding my two sons with APD. Melissa, if you're on the call, I know you had real specific language. Could you put it in the chat box?
I will. It was just I had asked actually Doug, who, is a lobbyist. I said, what do you think would be a good thing to put on the delegation as the topic so that everybody can be grouped together rather than being scattered around the agenda? If everybody signs up with the same, in this case, organization or topic, and everybody has the same thing in that spot, then they'll group the people together on the agenda, and then you guys can speak one after the other. When we were registered at the Charlotte delegation, because it was about 5 people that were registered, they had us all together, and our topic was, initially when we submitted it, concerns for the iBudget waiver under APD, and then they shortened it to put it on the agenda, and they shortened it to iBudget waiver APD. And just having something simple like that, iBudget/CDC APD, but if everybody wants to speak together, and then that way they will also recognize at the delegations if they are at more than one. For example, like Senator Gruters here in Sarasota sits on the delegation in Manatee and on Sarasota. So if he sees not necessarily the same people, but the same group of people under the same topic that spoke at Sarasota, and now there's another group that are speaking in Manatee, they then put it together that we're together. So I will put it in the chat.
Oh, so if you could go on and look for your county's delegation, find that appearance form, it'll look like this. But I wanted to just clear up, if you just pop into your delegation and you come for public comment and you haven't filled anything else, it is a public meeting, meaning you can give public comment. If you missed the deadline for this part, what that means is the people who fill this out and they get on the agenda, they'll get those 3 minutes. If you come late to the party and you just show up, you still get up to 3 minutes. Depending on how many people show up, like Jamie said, it might go down to a minute, but it will also look like this. In the back of every delegation room, or there'll be a designated person who's holding those pieces of paper to turn in. You just come fill that out. And so I've had families stress about this part in the past and they've missed their chance to fill it out. It looks just like this form. And then Amy, I haven't forgot about you. I just wanted to let everyone know on our YouTube channel, we have some of our people. I don't know if you can can you get audio? Do you hear audio? Zeta. Yeah. So I thought this was really cool because this is Melissa, and these are great examples of, I'm going to pause it. These are great examples, if you've never gone to delegation meetings, on how our families, people with developmental disabilities or love people with developmental disabilities, have done this effectively. Melissa is just amazing at what she does. And so I pulled her up as an example for families who might be nervous, you're speaking in public, but I would highly encourage families to just do it, because this isn't about our hair or our body or our looks. This is about our guys and that we love so much. This is so important, and you don't have to be an expert and you don't have to have the facts and figures. Like Jamie said, you have to have your why, and then you connect that why with how those people can help if you can, but at least ask for that clear help. So with that,
Well, can I build off of what Melissa had said last year? She brought a whole stack of envelopes and she just held those things up in the air and waved them. And Representative Benaroach texted me and said, get her contact info. And then Melissa's been in our office a handful of times, and we see her through the halls in Tallahassee now. So we know who she is. And just something as, I say minimal, even though it wasn't, as holding up a stack of probably 100 envelopes was just effective to get that attention. There's a question in the chat about intimidation of speaking to such a group. These legislators are not that important. Okay. All right. They are people just like we are. And there is no reason, I'll say that I don't want to dismiss your feelings, because public speaking is intimidating. It took me a very long time to get comfortable and get the hang of it. But I found a friendly face and I just stared at them, and that was it. So we've had a few opportunities in our meetings where interns are coming in with different organizations, or even lobbyists are bringing their interns in, and they let that intern take head of the meeting because they need that practice. And you can tell that they're uncomfortable. So what Representative Benaroach does is she goes, just practice with me. I am nobody. Yes, I can hear your idea and get it to go somewhere and advocate for you, but I'm just a person. So there's just practice on me. So if you find somebody to practice on, sometimes that helps, or just zone in on that friendly face. I think that enough of them have been in office long enough that when you are literally staring them down, it's because they feel comfortable looking at you, because you have that look maybe where you're giving them the courage and the comfortability to speak to them.
Thank you. And we do have practice partners that have volunteered. So if you are interested in speaking and you're nervous, Jim DeBrogren he is former APD director. He serves a lot of roles and he loves our families and has offered, if you need help practicing, reach out onto our website. If you hit contact, we'll get you a practice partner, because we want our families to really share your message. Our particular issue is so ridiculously emotional and so real, and sometimes that all of those emotions flood. And so I have practice partners for everything that I do, and I would hate for fear of public speaking to get in the way, because we can help you. Amy, ready?
No, I can't even remember my question. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So I spoke at the 2023 delegation for Clay County, I believe, and it was a good practice run. And so I'm hearing that there should be, even there was a group of us, but like most parents, you might not know until the day of if you can actually make it. And so there was like, we were trying to have a group, but you just didn't know what that day was going to bring. So you didn't know if what was going to be possible. And so I'm just saying, fill out the form if you know about it in your area. And if anybody's in Clay County, I'm interested in going and would fill out a form and would talk with others, but I don't want to have the same speech that I had 2 years ago. So I'm looking to add to it. Please reach out to me in the chat if you're interested.
Amy, call me. Amanda.
Sweet. I see Miss Kathy and friend.
Hey,
Hey,
I
Kathy.
have a quick question. I was looking at the Duval County, we're in Jacksonville, and it says local bill hearing. And it says only speakers addressing a local bill will be heard.
Okay, so local bills are literally, it affects that county only. So we have 3 on our agenda and they only affect Collier County. And those bills are handled just a little bit differently because as if the delegation does not, as a whole, so in Collier County, like I said, we have 3. If the 4 legislators do not like the local bill and do not vote to move it forward, it cannot be filed or heard in the Florida House of Representatives. So it is just a dead idea at that point, and that is not, it usually has something to do. So last year's one of the local bills was creating corkscrew sanctuary, and I am honestly blanking on what it even did. It was a jurisdictional thing, I believe. It created a new government, I believe, over in the corkscrew sanctuary issue,
Yeah,
possibly.
let me help you out with that. Those local bills are things, your local municipalities. That's something for Duval County Parks and Rec needs a new gym or something. Then they would bring a local bill forward. And some of the delegations around the state, they have dedicated meetings because they have so many local bills going on where it's just a local bill one. So that's why on the website, I made sure to say local bill. If that's the case, I'll have to look with that one. There'll be another, or there has been a Duval one for, I forgot what they label it, but this would be where you tell your story. This would be where you share your ask. Some of the delegations have
Not during the local bill,
yeah,
though.
not during the local bill. And
Only if it affects. So if like your example for the gym, if the local rec center is trying to expand something for their gym and it does affect you, then yes, absolutely speak. But the local bills usually aren't, I don't want to say not that important because they are,
they're just
but
not
they don't
where we
affect
want to
you
put.
individually.
That's not where we want to put our stories if you're advocating for your loved one through the Agency for Persons with Disabilities, for example. It would not be appropriate to go to that local bill hearing, but there will be another hearing that has, gosh, I can't think of the word, it's stumping me, where we share our stories, and that'll be made really clear. And those are on the website. Some of the delegations have a certain hour. So when you're thinking about timing, we know how all our schedules are. If it's the meetings from 1 to 4, but from 1 to 2 is for local bills, you don't need to show up at 1 o'clock. Typically, when the delegations, as they get closer, they'll release their speakers too, who's coming before. And that way, if you're coming for public comment, you've got some time, 3 minutes times 20 speakers, adjust for parking type of stuff. But if you have questions on getting to your delegation meetings, please put your info in the chat and we'll make sure that we have our delegation volunteers to help you.
The Collier County's local bills are heard at the beginning, so I just have been telling people our meeting doesn't start until the local bills are done. And which is because at that point it's just the legislator that is bringing the local bill. They're presenting it, they're advocating for it, and there's a vote, there's a public comment and then vote. And all you guys are doing is just sitting there, doing, just listening. So our meeting starts after all that is done. So that's when we start hearing the good stuff from all of you.
Thank you, Jamie. I want to thank you for being here. You have no idea how great it is to hear from somebody who has done these on that side, saying families come out and share. That's one thing
Have
that
an example script for 2 minutes. If
we
you
should role
don't,
play. Can we role play?
I don't want to run over time, but I was like, why didn't I think of that? So I had Chat GPT give me a sample script because I
Okay,
didn't
you
think
okay
about
with
it
role play?
beforehand. So it says, they put in names and everything for me, not even my own. It says, good evening. My name is Jamal Green, and I live in Cape Coral with my wife and our 10-year-old son, Malik, who has autism. Finding consistent, affordable therapy for Malik has been a constant challenge. We drive 45 minutes twice a week just to get services, and even then, the wait lists are long. We're not the only ones. Many families in Lee County are overwhelmed and falling through the cracks. I urge you to support increased state funding for behavioral therapy services, especially in underserved counties like ours. Our kids deserve access to help close to home. Thank you for listening. And they end with thank you for your service, but I don't like that sentence, so don't thank me for my service.
Wow, that's super cool. So, way to go, AI.
Right.
Yeah, if you're nervous on what to say, a lot of the times I'll just barf out all my feelings to AI and it'll quip it up real quick for me. So, families that may be like me who tend to overspeak, that is a great tool for us to use to really make our presentation as effective as possible. One other thing, and then I'm going to go back to thanking you, Jamie. If you can bring your loved one, bring them. Bring them as they are. If that's not a possibility for a myriad of reasons, bring a picture. It's very effective when you're speaking about someone if they're not in the room to bring that, and it really brings the policy hat down to the human level. It's been time and time tested effectively. One of the things that we do at the delegation meetings are hand our stories. So if you have your story to do on our website, we will hand those over to our legislators in our areas. And that's the packet I think that Melissa did at least 2 years ago were our stories. And that just shows that it's not just me with my one kid isolated. There's an entire state that needs their help and really helps bring that in. Jamie, I want to thank you so much for being on today's call.
Thanks for having me.
It means a lot to our families. I'm going to go ahead and toss it over to Miss Erica with Florida Voices for Health, who has, by Jamie, Erica has agreed to come talk about your roundtable initiative. You know what? I'm not going to speak. Erica, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much. My name is Erica, and thank you for having me here. I am with Florida Voices for Health. We're a health advocacy organization. Many of you know us, work with us. We try to influence systems change, policy change to help people access healthcare as we all deserve it. And we do this by connecting and working in coalition with groups like yours and with people like you. So I'm really happy that you invited us to share about our events. We have a couple things going on. Some of them are in person, and even though I work in the dental side, dental access side of our organization, our events end up being everything healthcare because everything is connected. And the first one that I'm going to share, and I'll put a little picture in the chat, it's our roundtable conversations. We started this by visiting and learning from Nicole's event recently, and then we had our most recent one yesterday in the Jacksonville area. In these ones, we're going to talk about disabilities, how difficult it is to access healthcare. We want to hear from the community members. We want to hear your stories, as Stephanie was sharing. Bringing the stories to the legislators is super, super important and so valuable. And so we want to hear from you. We want to hear from your ideas, solutions that come from you that we can support. And so we have our next one in Tampa at the Children's Board of Hillsborough County. And that one is on September 10th. And the next one is September 27th in the Wellington, West Palm Beach area. In all of them, everyone is welcome to share with us and help us come up with solutions and ideas that we can bring to the legislators. And we also invite you to come with us to Tallahassee and share your stories alongside us. And then the other series of events, and let me find a picture for that. It's online, so it's more of a webinar series. And in this one, it's a little bit more topic related. So a lot of it is actual dental care. But the hope is that by sharing this information, we help people see that there's a lot of need for dental care in our state, and share some technical information about community water fluoridation, working with kids in the pediatric centers. And many cases, pediatricians are the ones that are seeing even our adults with disabilities. So how to work with them in any dental office, not having the full-on special needs training, but in any dental office. That one is a great one coming from our partners from UF. Another one, really great one, is on integrating healthcare and dental care, how dental is connected to many of our other healthcare needs, and how our dental health affects our everyday lives. So that's a kind of a connection. And we want providers there as well. So if you want to invite your dentists, your medical providers, so they hear about these things as well. So those are going to be virtual. And this is to say that also we're hoping in the future to have these roundtable conversations around disability and healthcare in a virtual way in the future. These ones are like our first steps to get there, to be able to reach more communities. Although we like to meet with people in person and have these conversations and have the emotions there together, but it's difficult to cover the whole state. But we're trying, we will get there. And we're happy to partner with groups like yours. So thank you so much for having us. And I'll put also the links to register as well. But thank you, Nicole. You shared one already. You're ahead. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you so much for coming on here. If Nicole, can you put the Florida Voices for Health website and social media on there for families?
Yeah, I put the website. I'll go ahead and grab their social media links as well. But also I put the agenda with the email addresses, the contact information for Erica, and for also our previous guest speaker that's in the chat. There's a lot of really great, by the way, information going on in the chat if you're not looking at it. A lot of great links, a lot of great flyers to pull down. So some of this maybe we can try to also share on our Facebook page as well later, but definitely check that out.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go next. So I know that we did a lot of blah, 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 but now we've got about 13 minutes, and I believe I've fixed my technological impairments to be. So if you would like to ask a question or announce something going on in your neck of the woods, or anything related to developmental disabilities, one at a time, let's take ourselves off mute and just talk like families.
Can I go ahead?
Yeah.
All right. In Northeast Florida, we have Connecting the Dots coming up on October 3rd. I would also like to throw out there that our very own Stephanie and Nicole will be there supporting. They will be helping families learn how to create impact videos and one-pagers. Amanda always comes as well, and many of the amazing people on this call will be there. If a $15 fee is a deterrent for you to attend, please just reach out to me. This is why we collect sponsorships, so that we can give scholarships to anyone. Everyone should be able to attend. APD has confirmed today that they will be attending. Not only will they be attending, but they will be setting up a private room. And they have put in requests with both ACA and DCF to have ACA and DCF not just attend, but to have private rooms. So we don't know if ACA and DCF are going to agree to the private rooms, but APD has agreed to the private rooms. And they went as far as Lorena required everyone in our region to attend Connecting the Dots from APD. So wow. They're also going to be working on making some CEUs available for some of our coordinators. So if coordinators who could use a little bit of extra input, please let your coordinators know that they are invited. And if $15 is a deterrent for them to attend, let us know. We will provide them with scholarships as well. We do have a few rooms set up at $100 a night. They may be gone. If they are, reach out to us. We will look around, see what else we can find. But there should be plenty of inexpensive rooms. It's a Friday in Jacksonville. It's nothing special, but it's going to be very special for us. Sandy, I know I owe you a text message, and I'm sorry. I just suck at life and I'm very busy. But text me again and I will respond. On top of connecting the dots, we also have at the Ark of the St. John's, if anybody's going to be around on November 22nd in St. Augustine, Florida, we're doing our Sensory Fall Festival. This is a really cool opportunity for us to just have fun, connect with resources, and just enjoy. All of the group homes, the adult group homes come out, the youth group homes come out. It's a really cool event. So if anyone wants more information, I will pop my contact info in the chat. But connecting the dots, you need to get your tickets before September 21st so you can get lunch. And I will put contact info to request scholarships. Hope to see you all there.
Thanks, Anna. And on that note, talking about connecting the dots for Family Care Council, Pauline, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Would you mind just doing a high level? What is Family Care Councils and how can families get involved? Why is it important? Yada. Let's see if I can get her to talk to me. Nope, I can't hear you yet. I'm pressing this button that says ask to unmute. Bummer. All right, I'll be a talking head for you unless you figure it out. Family care councils are family-led advisory councils to the Agency of Persons with Disabilities. There are 15 around the state of Florida, and they've been in existence since 1993. This past year, our legislature did some really great improvements to that existing statute so that we will eventually implement a statewide council. Our local family care councils is there a website that someone can put up there? They're all available on this website that's going to come into your chat box where you can find when and where your local family care council meets. And the thing about family care councils, I'm wildly passionate about it because this is made up of families like us. This is a group of families that get together and talk about what the services are going on in their area. A lot of the times they have local providers come in and share. There's an APD liaison on the call. So if there's updates going on with that agency, they provide that with the families. It's a direct kind of communication. But for me, when I first learned about the waiver, I learned about it all at once, and it was extremely overwhelming. And it was the family care council members that really took me under their wings and helped explain next steps. And we have relationships outside of the family care council now. It's like a great place to connect with other families, learn about what's happening. And since we just got legislation passed to really expand our family care councils, I am all but demanding. I am highly urging, please connect with your family care councils. These are so important. We want to see them grow. We want to see our councils get even more connected to collaborate with the people who are serving us. And that is really the goal in an advisory council. Thanks, Pauline, for that announcement. Anybody have any others? Or questions? Or
hear me now?
What? Are you serious?
Yes, you were doing such a wonderful job. There was no reason for me to butt in. She's done a wonderful job. And I was trying to figure out how to put my email address in the family chat or the chat box, but I'll give it to you if somebody wants to put it in. I'm certainly not an expert on this stuff, but yes, we are working very diligently to correct the issues that were not so friendly about the Family Care Council. And we have had two meetings, the July meeting and the August meeting, which happened last week. I was so pleased to say that APD had 3 representatives on our July meeting and 2 representatives on our August meeting. And so we are trying to get together again and to work really hard to develop a strong council. And like you said, we are just families, and not just, but we're families, siblings, grandparents, guardians of individuals that are on APD services. And so the direct line to APD is one of our most valuable voices. And we will be trying to grow the councils in all areas, all 15 regions. So please, if you have any interest or you have a question or something that you need help with, please reach out to the Family Care Council.
I was on last week's call as a guest and it was great. So thank you.
Yes, thank you, because that connection with APD is just so invaluable. We're supposed to advise them. If we don't know what they're doing or how they're doing it, how can anyone advise you if you're just sitting there in the dark? So we're very pleased at the past 2 meetings, and we feel like we will be moving forward in a positive direction. And this has been a very long time coming. So we are extremely happy with the new legislation. And there will be a statewide council that will be developed, and we're really enthusiastic that will happen sooner than later. But we're all governor appointed. So until we receive some real positive feedback from the governor's office, we're just on hold, working the best that we can. But thank you, Stephanie. You did give such a gracious introduction when I was trying to figure out how to get off of
You're
mute.
welcome. I'm going to take it a step further and say, if you're a family member, if you're an individual with a developmental disability, find your family care council. What happened this year in legislation has created a pathway for real change outside of meeting with your legislator. We can directly advise the agency now through specific language in that law now to really help them understand the needs and address them. We can go into a specific talk about this at some point, but if you are here on this call, look our family care councils up. Most of them, the majority of them, have an online option just like this. You may not be able to go to everyone, but it is something I really want our families to understand. If you want to impact change, family care councils is a huge opportunity. And just like this, you make connections with other families, and no one gets us like we do. So before we go, I want to remind everyone that, shoot, I'm lost in my own windows, that our next meeting is going to be September 25th. It's like the last Friday of next month. And we are going to be talking about committees. What are committees? Why are they important to us? What do we need to know? We will have a special guest that I have, but we will reveal because I have not got them yet. But we will have someone on the call to really help give a high-level explanation on why committees are so important in the legislature. And we'll have a couple other updates. And on that thing I sent you, Nicole, was a link. Hang on. I and Terrell at the chat. I think I just put the link to register to next month's meeting. If you want to go ahead and sign up for that now here, that'd be great. And if not, we will, after the call, we'll have this up on our website, flddadvocacy.org. And then after that meeting, our schedule more or less is every Friday minus holidays through legislative session. Starts in January, ends in March. So we really start to get into our weekly meetings, and things are going to take off here. It feels like we just ended, but we've only just begun. Real quick and fast into our session, and we want you to feel like you're a part of this group. If you ever have questions, because it's a quick hour, please feel free to reach out to us. We want our families. We want to connect with you. It's weird across Zoom, but we do find each other around the state, and the friendships that are developed in this space are probably lifelong and beautiful. Offline here, when we get off this call, there is our Facebook group. That is a way for us to meaningfully connect with one another. If you want to have a friend in this group, reach out. There's emails in the address. Like, we are a place of connection for each other and support, as well as advocacy. So with that, we're going to go ahead and see you guys next month, September 25th. And I want to thank you guys so much for spending your Friday afternoon with us. Have a happy weekend.